When I got my BBM scholarship in 2024, I wanted to explore one key question. What does meaningful, inclusive employment for people with disability look like in different parts of the world? And over my scholarship, I was able to travel through France, Italy, and New Zealand and visit incredible places and meet incredible people. My first stop was Café Joyeux in Bordeaux, France, a social enterprise who train and employ people with intellectual disability in hospitality. Here I met Claire, Tristan, and Tatiana. Here you can see some visual aids to support learning. For instance, instead of table numbers, they use Lego pieces and match the order to the table. From France, I travelled to Italy to visit Edico, a hospitality model that also operates in Australia and is doing some pretty incredible things in our country. I was really interested in going back to where it originated. My first stop was at a small hotel in Fennis, a tiny town in the Aosta Valley. It was so beautiful and was definitely my favourite place. I felt so at home in the mountains and would start each morning with a run through the town and making sure to pick up juicy persimmons along the way. Here, I met trainees working across all areas of the small hotel, which became really busy over the snow season, since Fennis is bordering the Swiss Alps. I loved interviewing them and hearing their experiences. You can see me here speaking with Carmine, who has been there for 3 years, and Cinzia, who has been there for 4 years and works in housekeeping. I was especially inspired by Ingrid, the educator and one of the trainers who constantly adapted and made adjustments to suit trainee learning needs. Inclusion isn't always about big interventions. Often it's the small, thoughtful adjustments that make the biggest difference. Next, I visited ASTI, where I saw Edico's academy model. Here, all the trainees live together while learning independent living skills. Seeing the dynamic among them was so rewarding. There was such a strong sense of belonging and community. I also visited Antonio's restaurant, Tacabanda, in an underground wine cellar. Jessica, who you can see working in the kitchen and on the floor, has been working at Tacabanda for 15 years. It really reinforced how powerful it can be when people are given the chance at work. I then visited Genoa, which is a historical coastal town. Here I met Lara and Andrea, who are both working in housekeeping. Across Italy, one of the biggest things that surprised me was the cultural difference compared to Australia. Everything felt much more relaxed, and there was a strong sense of familial connection within every workplace I visited. My final Italian stop was Rome, where I saw a model that felt more aligned with the Australian approach, where Edico is a pathway, not a destination. Edico in Rome partners closely with hospitality schools, with the goal of training people for employment in other hotels. It was interesting to see how even within Italy, different locations interpreted the Edico philosophy differently. After Italy, I travelled to New Zealand, where I visited Flourish Cafe, which is a cafe who run a program and provide on-the-job training to people with disability. Here I was visiting their cafe in the Air New Zealand headquarters and met Damien and Indy. Despite the very different economic and political landscapes operating within each of these countries, the message from everyone I met was the same. When people are given the opportunity, high expectations, and the right supports, they can thrive. Thank you so much to BBM for making this experience possible for me.